we will be switching the record function on. And so what we're aiming to do in the webinar today is cover information that we think you're going to need for starting the PhD and for the first few weeks at the CDT. So just in helping you prepare for those first few weeks at your respective universities. As mentioned before, then do use the chat function if you've got any questions. Next slide, please. So what we're looking to cover is give you an idea of the first few weeks and some of the things that you'll want to make sure that you do in those first few weeks. Also give you a bit more information about the modules, core and optional modules, and then highlight some of the information in the CDT handbook that has been sent out to you already. We will be running an induction week in October. It'll be in the second week of October. And so just to outline some of the things that we'll be covering then. And then the last thing is that we've got a few of our current PhD students online, and so what we will do is that we will finish the recording. Must try and remember to stop the recording, and then it will just be a case of it's open to you asking the students any questions that you have for them. Candival, myself and Sean will drop offline, so it's an informal thing and you can ask any questions that you want to of the three students that we've got that are joining us today. Okay, so next slide, please. So with the first bit, then looking at important things like registration and accommodation, then Candival, I think you're going to take people through this part.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Okay, let's have a quick look at the first few weeks of your PhD journey. And the first few weeks will be very busy for you. You'll be in a new place, probably most of you in a new place. And if you plan everything well in advance, it'll be very smoothly, it'll run. And so we have listed out the important tasks that you need to do in the first few weeks. So one of them is about the registration formalities. Before going into the registration formalities, I hope you all received a conditional or an unconditional offer from your awarding university and you have accepted it. And I also hope that you received an online registration link from your awarding university. And if you have received it, please complete the registration as soon as possible, online registration. And while doing the online registration, you can log on to your university portal and add your bank details, which is really important for us to send the stipend to your bank account by the end of the month or beginning of the month. Depends on the university. And in terms of visiting university registrations, I have received all.
I was going to say, I don't know where you're up to with knowing which students have registered. Are you wanting them to indicate now by like raising a hand?
But by the end of the slides, maybe we can go around the table and then get an update from each student.
Great.
Yeah. And regarding the visiting university, I think all of you have completed the online form for University of Nottingham and Ulster University. And I've received all your paper document for Loughborough and Birmingham University, and I have forwarded the documents to the university admins, and you will receive the registration link from the respective university admins. If you're not receiving anything by within two or 3 weeks time, please let me know, then I will chase them. And the second point is regarding accommodation. I hope you all finalized your accommodation or in the process of finalizing your accommodation close to your awarding university or within a travel distance from your awarding university. And if you need some suggestions regarding the best place to live or close proximity to your research lab, please get in touch with the CDT team or one of the current students from cohort 1 or cohort 3. We will be happy to suggest, give informations about the accommodation close to your awarding university. And as I mentioned, if you can, after this slide, we can go around the table, and if you can give a quick update about the status of your registration formalities and accommodation, it would be great. The third point is about the buddy scheme. We have provided a description about the buddy scheme in the previous offer holder event. And one of our current students, Srinivas, will be giving further details about the buddy scheme after the slide. And as I communicated with you via email, all your information has been passed on to the SUSI buddy scheme lead, Mikola Dawkins. Mikola will get in touch with you to discuss with you about these and allocate a suitable buddy for you. And then you can have a first meeting with the buddy either before you start your PhD program or just after you start your PhD program. It can be online or in person based on the location of your buddy. And the most important point is meet your supervisors to discuss, to have an initial discussion about your project and get to know about your team members. And also it is important for you to discuss about the time commitment that you have for the thought program in the first year. Approximately 50% of the time will be allocated for your thought program in the first year. So it is important for you to let the supervisors know that you have thought element commitments. And also in the meeting, you can set up the follow-up meetings based on your available time and the supervisor's available time to discuss further. And in the same meeting, you can discuss about the IT equipments that you require. I'm leaving the orientation at the moment. You can discuss about the IT equipments that you need for your particular project, because some of you will be doing experimental type project or some of you will be doing computational based projects. So you can discuss with your supervisor and identify an IT equipment, either a laptop or desktop, monitor, docking stations, keyboards and mouse, etc. Once you identify this IT equipment, you will be able to order this IT equipment using the RTSG budget. So each SUSI student will have a research training support grant, which is 16K for entire 4 years. And you will get this RTSG code from your awarding university, and you can use this RTSG code to order a laptop or a desktop and a monitor, docking stations, keyboard and mouse, or any other equipment you need, IT equipment you need for your particular project. Also in the meeting, you can discuss and finalize the core and optional modules that is suitable for your project. And once you finalize the core and optional modules that is suitable for your project, send us a list of the modules that you're going to take in the next 12 months. So as per SUSI CDT, you need to complete all your thought elements within the first 12 months. So if you can send us the module list and the university ID numbers, you'll be having 4 different ID numbers for 4 partner universities. And some of these modules you can self-enroll. And for some of the modules, we can enroll you into the module via student services. And for all 4 universities, the timetabling is in process. So once the timetabling is finalized, I'll send you an updated list of modules with the timetables. Important thing is one of your first core module may start in 3rd week of October. This is just after the induction week at University of Nottingham. And the other point is about the induction week, as Kevin mentioned in the introduction slide. So SUSI is organizing an induction week at University of Nottingham, which will be week commencing 10th of October. further details will be given in the slides. And you need to book travel and accommodation. So this is only for the visiting students. So students from Loughborough, Birmingham, and Ulster need to book travel and accommodation to attend the SUSI induction week at University of Nottingham. And the cost for this is covered using SUSI central budget. So if you can drop me an email, I'll let you know how to book your accommodation and travel. So you need a specific project code to book your travel and accommodation through your awarding university. And going back to the orientation program, each university and school have different types of orientation training program at the initial stages of your PhD. This includes like safety induction training, health and safety induction training, or a building induction training, etc. So what we did is we have included all the possible orientation programs in student checklist section in the student SUSI handbook. So please refer the SUSI handbook students checklist section. Also, you will receive this information through your welcome pack from your awarding university. So you can obtain more details from the welcome pack. And the final thing is just stay in touch with the CDT team. If you need any help, drop me an email or contact Esther or Sean. We will be happy to help you. And one additional point is the current student have a WhatsApp group, one for the entire cohort and a separate one for the individual cohorts as well. I would strongly encourage you to join that WhatsApp group so you can quickly contact anybody and ask for suggestions and help. With that, I will hand over to Srinivas to quickly describe about the buddy scheme.
Hello everyone. Can you hear me? No?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hello. Good afternoon. First of all, congrats to everyone who's been accepted into the SUSI program. So my name is Srinivas. I'm doing my PhD based in Ulster University in safety engineering for ammonia and hydrogen systems. So the SUSI program has something called as buddy scheme, which was developed by Michaela from cohort 1. So the main idea of this program is to give a peer mentor to you from the previous cohort so that this transition into the PhD is a bit easier for you. Mainly, you'll be connected to one of the students from the previous cohort. I think for you, it will be from cohort 3 that Michaela will be deciding. So the idea is to connect you with that person and have a monthly meeting where you have some sort of help and guidance on navigating through the system, because you're new to SUSI, you're new to the board, you're new to all of the things that are going on. So you'll have help in all this, all places. Mainly, let's say that you'll have to go through the core modules, you'll have to go through the optional modules, and whatever conferences, whatever systems, the seniors will have already gone through it, which means they can guide you. And also, if you have any issues, also you can reach out to them. So it helps. For me personally, I had a person from University of Nottingham. She was my peer mentor. So that will help you connect as well in terms of networking as well in other universities. But it's your choice. You can choose a peer buddy from your university or from the other 3 universities. You'll be given a choice to choose from the options. Michaela will be sending a Google form. I think Google form. So you will have to fill the form, and you'll be given a choice of if you want to be connected to a person from your own university or from the other universities. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of buddy scheme.
Thanks, Srinivas. If we can go around the table and the current or the new students can let us know the status about your registration and accommodation. Who wants to go first, or can I call from the list I have?
Might be easier to call from the list.
Dio?
Hello. For me, I've sent Candival the registration for the visiting universities for Loughborough and Birmingham. I've completed the online registration for Nottingham, but I've not received another link to supply my bank details. And for Ulster, I got an email from Flex Education Centre asking for an additional document for my application, but they've not said what they require or where to send it to. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, so I wanted to comment on the same thing. I got the exact same email from Ulster. So I think it's more of a general thing than individual, it looks like. And otherwise, I've completed everything with my main university, so Birmingham, except for the bank details. I haven't received an email regarding that. But I finished with Nottingham and I sent the form for Loughborough to Canterville. And I also got my accommodation.
Just for completing the bank details, if you log on to your university portal, there will be a link or some kind of form to complete your login details. If it's not there, I can get in touch with the student service. Same thing for you, Alexander. Atish?
Yes, hello everyone. Like I have completed all registration formalities for the other 3 universities like University of Nottingham, Birmingham and Loughborough University. And for Ulster University, I think we will have to go in person and we have to register there. And after that, there is some online formalities. So I will be completing them soon. And regarding accommodation, like I have booked accommodation as well.
Great.
Hi.
Hey,
Yeah. So in terms of the registration, I've completed registration in almost all universities, apart from I had an email from I think it's Ulster about some incomplete information. So I completed that yesterday.
Okay. Emily?
So I've completed all the registration for the visiting unis, and I got an email from Ulster yesterday asking for documents that I did today.
Yeah.
And I've not got an email from Nottingham about registration yet.
Sorry,
So,
you have not received an email from Nottingham for online registration?
no.
Okay. I will get in touch with the student service and see. Joseph?
Hi, I've sent all of the online registration forms. I've done the online registration at my home uni. The only thing I haven't done is the bank details, but I think I know how to pursue that now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Logan?
It's pretty much the same as Emily. I've got the email from Ulster. I'm going to send off the documents today. I completed the online stuff for Loughborough and Birmingham and haven't heard anything back from Nottingham. I did check that on the website for Nottingham, they say to expect the online registration 3 weeks before start, which was Monday.
Okay.
So my plan was to send off an email today, but yeah. It seems like, yeah, it's about now. They're expecting it.
Luke?
Hi, yeah. So accommodation-wise, I'm all set. I've got a place in Nottingham now. In terms of the actual online registrations, I've sent yourself the forms for Loughborough and Birmingham. Ulster, surprise, surprise, they sent me an email as well, but they've replied back saying with what they want extra. The only query of which is they want a letter about how I'm being funded for the course. So I don't know whether to just reply back saying it's just through the Sustainable Hydrogen CDT or what. But in terms of my home university, Nottingham, I haven't had anything back from them since accepting my offer. But I just went back onto the Nottingham Hub now, and I've seen there's a task there for online registration.
Okay.
And I've just been filling that out, but it's come out with an error on a couple of the components saying that I'm not authorized to fill this in. So this was on the personal details bit and also on the finances section as well. So confused on that. But other than that, I think that's it.
Hello?
I thought that I was frozen.
No, I think Candaval's screen is
Oh.
frozen by the look of it. I don't know if you can hear me.
I thought it was me that had
Yeah.
frozen.
No, I think Candaval's
I-
screen is frozen. It has for me anyway.
Right, yeah, Candle's definitely frozen. I lost the last student that was speaking. Was that Luke, I think?
Yeah,
So I thought
Yes,
it
I
was
believe
me.
so. Yeah.
Can you hear me? Is it?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
we can hear you fine. It's
But-
just unfortunately we've lost Candaval, I think, for a moment. Let me just have a quick.
So the last thing I heard, because I think I might have missed a little bit of you. Oh, Candaval's coming to join me.
My internet is down, so.
Yeah, well,
Right.
I think we suffered the same little glitch, but Candaval can pull up a seat.
So do you want me to repeat anything for you?
So the last thing I caught, Luke, was that you weren't being given permission to give some of your personal details. I'm not sure if that was the last thing that you said.
Yeah, so that's for the Nottingham online registration, because I actually logged onto the Nottingham Hub today, just when you mentioned it earlier, actually, just to check. And yeah, so the ones I'm locked out of are finances and the personal details page. It says to contact the administrator to get that sorted, but I don't know.
Right. So I think the Canada will just make a note that you've not got access to everything at the moment, which he's just getting his notebook that he left in his other office. What would maybe be helpful, Luke, is just to send maybe Candaval an email saying which are the fields that you've not got permission to fill in.
Okay, we'll do.
And we'll just check that that's not happening, that same mistake hasn't happened also with the other Nottingham registration.
I've just checked it now. It seems to be the same.
I was going to say, I suspect if it's happened to one, it's going to happen to more.
Yeah, same for me.
Right.
So I assume as well that section there was the only place, well, for Nottingham home students anyway, that's the only place to put the bank details. I'm not sure if I'm missing anywhere.
Yeah. So it just sounds like that's an IT issue that we need to try and get sorted on the system. But good to have identified that. Hopefully, we'll be able to speed that along. If that was the last thing, then Luke, we'll go on to Nico. You're muted.
Hello.
There we go.
Okay, cool. You can hear me. Yeah, so I sent the online, the form for Loughborough and Birmingham to Candaval. The online registration for my home university, which is Nottingham, they apparently sent an online how to do the registration to my home email address, but I still haven't got that yet. And I still am unsure on how to put in my bank details to Nottingham Hub. And in a similar situation with some other people for Ulster, I've been asked to provide documents, but I'm not sure what those documents are. So I emailed them back yesterday and they still haven't replied back. So that's my current status.
Right, but that was just yesterday, so hopefully Ulster will reply back. And for the first two, so Deo and Alexandra, then if you've not already emailed Ulster, if you do email them to find out what documents they want, but if there is continuing uncertainty, we can help on that. And so last one is Thomas.
Hi, yeah, I've done everything for the visiting university, sending off that stuff to Candival. I hadn't done the online registration, but I can see it's on the to-do lists of things now on the hub. And in terms of accommodation, I'm all sorted as well, as I already live in Nottingham. But yeah, documents, but they said when they got back to me, they said a photo ID and just proof of your degree certificate. If you've got it.
That was for who?
For Ulster University.
For Ulster, right? Great. Deo, you raised your hand and unraised it. It was a question there.
No, it was just to say I've also emailed Ulster a couple of days ago and not had a reply either.
Right, thanks for confirming. Back to Ark.
Hi, I just wanted to say that on my Nottingham Hub, it says to upload my transcript, but I haven't received it yet. So I think that's the reason why I can't add any more additional information.
Right. Do you know when you're going to get your transcript through, or is that something you need to chase with your university?
They're saying by the end of September. So.
Right. So sorry, I don't know if you caught that, but Candival was saying we'll talk to the admissions team to let them know that that's what you've been told so far. Make sure that we can smooth things over.
Yeah, that's fine. I will still email my university to make sure I can get it earlier than that day. But thank you.
Right. You don't happen to have a certificate?
It's saying to upload the transcript. So.
Yeah, I know it's saying to upload the transcript, which would be all of the module marks.
Yeah.
But just thinking it might be a case of it would help us smooth things over if you've got like a certificate for your degree to show that you've got your degree.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah, you'll still need to upload a transcript, but it might help us at this end.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else from anybody? If not, we'll move on to the next slide then. Right, so when you join us so if you're at Ulster, it will be September, and for the rest, it will be beginning of October. One of the things, as Candival was indicating, is that you'll need to register for the core modules and also choose your optional modules. Now we have to bring a bit more flexibility into the taught program. We have core modules that you have to take, and they are the red modules here. So we've got Energy Technologies and Society in the first semester at Nottingham, Research Project Portfolio in the second semester at Nottingham, and at Loughborough, Transforming Energy Systems, Economics and Business in the second semester. There are also flexible core modules, and there are 3 of those. They are in blue on that table there, and you need to take at least 2 of them. If you wish to, you can take all 3, but we're giving you the option to not take one of those, so that it might be because you feel it is less relevant to your PhD project, or that there is another module that you would like to do as an option, so freeing up some credits so that you can design the talk program so it better suits either your research project, or it could be giving you exposure to a topic that will help you in your career development. So those blue modules in the autumn semester, then Ulster down at the bottom, Principles of Hydrogen Safety. And then in the spring semester at Nottingham, Technologies for the Hydrogen Economy, and at Birmingham, Materials for Hydrogen Technologies. So across all of those core and flexible core modules, then that will give you some exposure to some technology side, science and engineering, some social science, and also some economics, and then also with research skills as well. Outside of those core modules, then you have flexibility to choose optional modules. We've got on the table there some optional modules that are relevant to hydrogen and energy, but you can also look to choose optional modules that are provided by any of the 4 universities. And so do look into what modules are available if you would like to do something that's a little bit different to the modules that are available, that we've shown on that table there. So if we go on to the next slide. So we've got at the bottom of that slide links to the module catalogues for the 4 universities, so that you can start looking into what options are available. We'll provide you a copy of this presentation so that you can just click on those links. The other thing that you'll want to do is when you're identifying options, then have a chat with your supervisor and make sure that your supervisor is happy with those selections. They might have some other things to think about as an option as well. What you may also want to have a chat with existing students, see what options have they taken as well, and is it that an option that they take would be appealing to you. So I'll just check that we've covered all of the information on the earlier bullet points there. So as I said before, you're not limited to the optional modules that were listed in the table on the previous slide. And in choosing your optional modules, then you only need to take modules up to 120 credits. Occasionally we have students that take more than 120 credits. Sometimes it's a case of there are some modules that are like 15 credits long, and so it becomes difficult to meet the 120 credits, and it might be 125 credits. What we would advise against though is taking lots of extra modules, because that is going to be time taken away from you getting started on your research project. So you want to be realistic with what you've got time to do as far as your talk modules are concerned. As I said before, have a chat with make sure you agree those optional modules with your supervisor. And then the last point there is that it's important to manage your time and to look to also get your research started during semesters 1 and 2. It's very easy to, once the taught modules start, to become really focused on going to those taught programs, completing the coursework and or exams related to them. I think most of the modules are coursework based, but there are some that will be exam based as well. But it's very easy that once you get into doing all of the taught modules, that you start to think of yourself as being a master's student. You're not a master's student, you're enrolled on a PhD project. And so you do want to look at organising your time, and that the time that you have outside of your modules, that you try and get some research started. Now, it's not that you're going to be doing lots of research because there's a limited amount of time, but it's starting to get to grips with your research topic area, with your research group. It might be starting to do a little bit of training with some of the techniques that you'll be using. And the other thing that will be really important is that you start reading the literature related to your project as well, so that you're getting to grips with what is the state of the art, what are the discoveries, what are the things that might influence you in your thoughts around the project and taking the project forward. Next slide, please, Sean. That first bullet point then is just a reminder that you are enrolling on an integrated degree program, PhD degree program. And what that means is that with if you like, a normal PhD, you're focused really on just doing the research. With an integrated PhD program, there is a training program along with your research program. Now, a big element of that training program are the 120 credits, but that's not the only part of the training program. And there are elements of training that go through all of the 4 years. And so that could be workshops on specific things. It could be experiential learning. So some of the skills that you've been honing in the workshops, that you then go out and use those skills. So we've got a variety of events and activities that are organised that are helping with that experiential learning. So that means that there are compulsory elements which all students need to undertake. It's not just the taught modules, but it's also those other compulsory training elements which are part of your integrated PhD degree program. With the taught modules, then they've got a pass mark of 50%, and it's the same as with any master's course at any of our universities, 4 universities, that all the modules need to be passed before progression. And there is no compensation. So in undergraduate degree programs, you probably had progression rules, and that if you had soft failed a module, you might be able to carry that across because your average mark for the year was high enough. With a master's program, if the master's program is new to you, then you have to pass all of the modules. You don't get that opportunity to compensate for a module that's been failed. So if on the first attempt you don't manage to get 50%, then you'll have a resit opportunity in the August time. But the advice is, don't look to just pass things. You know, look to excel in the taught program that you're doing. You want to make sure that you've got a healthy margin, and that you're not bumping along the bottom with potential of ruining your August because you're having to do resits. The last one there is then with some of the your core sushi events. As I was saying before, we've got this. These sushi events are designed to help you in refining your skills. And so some of the things that we've got there that you'll need to attend are things like in your years 2 and 3, then a stakeholder challenge. So that will be you working within a team and looking to come up with solutions for a stakeholder challenge, much along the lines of the group activities that we ran for the interview process. That was more of a find out about each other type activity, but with a real stakeholder challenge, then you'll be looking over a 1 to 2 week period, coming back to the company with solutions to that challenge. We have a sushi conference every year, so it's going to be next week. For the current students, you'll be able to come to the conference in a year's time. And that's obviously a way in which you'll be able to practice your presentation skills. So with our second year students, we get them to do a poster presentation. With third and fourth year students, they'll do oral presentations. No requirement to do a presentation, you just get to turn up to have the fun of seeing all those presentations when you're in your first year. Got outreach, public engagement, opportunities, activities that will be run through the CDT, and that is helping with, again, your communication skills there, as well as when we're looking at things like the Parliament visit, then understanding a little bit how science and technology and research can affect policy decisions. Then the last one we've got there is secondment. So there's some budget within the CDT to help support you if in your third or your fourth year you're wanting to visit either an international research facility or go and spend some time at a company or another organisation. So it could be something that's helping you with your project, or it could be something that's helping you with your career development. Okay, next slide, please, Sean. Okay, so with the handbook, then I know that handbook is quite a thick handbook. Do have a read through it. You don't have to read all of it because there are some sections at the back which are specific to different, to your home university. So you just need to look at the information that's relevant to your home university, whichever it is. We will be looking at taking you through a new e-portfolio. So it's something that we're looking to start this year so that you can build up evidence of your skills development. And that'll be new for all of our students. Now with the PhD, although we're calling you and you are a student, then it is a little bit different to being an undergrad or a master's student. It's actually better to think about being a research student, that you're actually an employee, and so your supervisors will be expecting you to be coming to work 5 days a week, and so normally we're looking at a normal week being 36.25 hours. So that gives you sort of, a time frame for that week that you might have some taught elements in the first semester. Well, you will have some taught elements, but you'll have an idea, have you got time outside of the taught elements to do some research? What we don't want you to be doing is 36.25 hours of taught elements and think, oh, I've got to do 36 hours of research as well. That's not sustainable at all. And so hopefully having that sort of time frame for a week's worth of work, you'll be able to think, well, I've got 30 hours of coursework, I've got another 6 hours and a quarter. What can I spend that doing? Oh, there's a couple of research papers that I'd like to read. And so you can organise your week based on the time that we'd be expecting you to work. There is a lot of support and assistance as well, and so the handbook is trying to identify and give you signposts to where there is help with the disability assessments. If that's something that you'll be wanting to do when you join the university, then what we've tried to do is streamline the process so that you only have an assessment at one university, and then the support plan that's adopted, that will be adopted across all the universities. So please do let us know if that's something that is of interest to you, that you're going to need to do an assessment, so that we can help in that streamlined process. We've got so we've put a lot of emphasis on EDI and also looking to support students, whatever their background, and we do have financial assistance where appropriate, and so that financial assistance might be helping you to attend a sushi event, for example, that otherwise you wouldn't be able to attend. So it might be because you've got care responsibilities outside of the university. That's an obvious example. If you're requiring help that seems to be outside of what we've covered in the handbook or is on the slides there, do get in touch with someone. It could be that you're getting in touch with your buddy. It could be you're getting in touch with someone else within the cohort. Do also think about getting in touch with the CDT team as well. We are here to help you and make sure that you get the support that you need. Candival's already talked a little bit about expenses, but it's important that you realise that any travel that you're doing that's related to your PhD, then that will be covered. Now, if it is for a sushi central event, it's like the induction week that we're talking about in October, Sushi Central will pay for that travel and subsistence, and Candival will take you through how you apply for that at each of your universities. It's similar, but a little bit different. You'll also have a project code that is specific to you and your project, so don't share that with others. And that is your RTSG code. So that's a research, training and support grant. And so if there are things that you're opting to do, so that could be looking at a conference that you want to go to. So you're opting to go to that conference. It could be an external module that you'd like to go on. So it would cover your registration and any travel and subsistence related to that. So travel and subsistence that you're opting to do, that comes out of your RTSG. As Candival said, it's 16,000 across the 4 years, so approximately 4,000 a year, but it's not that 4,000 within a year is your budget limit. You can spend more 1 year, less in another year. It will also cover your consumables and any IT requirements for you and your project. So last thing there, do look at the things that that sushi students are doing, and also the activities that we're putting on. These are ways in which you're developing your support networks, and so there are a variety of things in addition to the buddy scheme, which we've talked about already. Then we've got the students are running their own journal club. There are coffee meetings, we have quarterly EDI meetings as well with the students. And so these are ways in which, number one, you're connecting with people, but also are ways in which you can discuss if there are any issues that you wish to raise with different groups. We also have student representation, as I say, on our management board. And so, another thing is that our student reps will feed back then to us any issues that are being raised from the students, from yourselves, and we'll then look to be able to respond to those. Because what we want to do is try and make sure that everybody has as positive experience as they can whilst they're here doing their PhDs. Next slide, please. So as was mentioned before, we've got an induction week, which will be in Nottingham, which is in the second week of October. So it will actually run from Monday through to Thursday of that week. And so as Candival was saying, you do want to, within your first week, then make sure that you get your travel and accommodation sorted. You'll need to be registered at the universities so that you'll be able to put your travel claims through your respective universities to cover that. And it's a mixture of different types of workshops and also visits. So just to mention that during the days of the workshops, then their lunches will be provided, and there will be evening meals provided on at least 2 of the days. So we'll have an informal meal on the Monday, and there's also an opportunity to meet some of the management board on the Wednesday for a dinner on the Monday and the Wednesday. So if we could go on to the next slide. So some of the things looking to cover in that induction week. Number one, and most importantly, you'll be able to get to meet each other in person for our 4th cohort. You'll also be able to get to meet some of the CDT team, or we hope all of the CDT team. So Candival, Sean and Esther and myself, and you'll also get to meet some of the management board members as well. We will run some skills workshops, and also again go through an overview of the CDT. There'll be new questions from you as you're starting to do all of the in-person registration, signing up for modules. So it'll be another opportunity if there are anything, is any advice, guidance that you're needing, questions that you got, it'll be an opportunity to raise those at the beginning of the induction week. But outside of that CDT overview, then some of the skills training we'll be looking at is things like communication skills, team dynamics, creative thinking, time management. We also run an EDI workshop, and we have staff and students that attend that. And it's always been really well received. It's a colleague from chemistry, Andy Norcliffe, that does that, and it's a very good workshop, very interactive, also very challenging. So I look forward to it every year. And then the last thing is we're looking to hold a stakeholder event, which we're looking to kick off the stakeholder mentoring scheme. Okay. Next slide, please, Sean. So really just finishing off, you're then able to put some faces to the name. So you've seen myself, Candival and Sean today on the on this webinar. You'll be able to meet all of us in person when you come for the induction week, if not before that. And you'll also be able to meet Esther, our CDT administrator, as well. So we're all very much looking forward to welcoming you to the CDT in October. And that is the last slide. So are there any questions before Sean, Candival and myself sign off? Logan.
Hello. Just a quick question. I can't remember if you said it or not, but with the module selection, when does that decision need to be made by?
So for the first semester module, you need to make selection soon because there is a deadline for module registration. So the first few things will be you need to select it very quickly, but the second semester module, you will have time to register.
Yeah, for the first semester modules, then normally the deadline is within 2 to 3 weeks of the start. Yeah, so I'd be looking, you'd probably be looking to have got it all done by the end of the induction week. Alexandra, I think you were next.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask a bit about the course that you said would start on the 3rd week of October, because I have my graduation that week, and I might be away for a day or at least 2 because of travel and such. But I don't want that to kind of prevent me from being able to choose that module. So I don't know how, if there's any way of organizing around that, because both are very important. I think you can understand.
So we will try and let you know as soon as possible. It hasn't been timetabled yet. It does normally run in October, in either the 3rd or the 4th week. So I don't think we've had any discussions yet about when that's gonna happen.
Usually it's 3rd week of October.
Yeah. And it also depends on when other modules are running at the universities to make sure it doesn't clash with those. But we'll try and let you know as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Dave?
Hi, I've just received an email back from Ulster. I just wanted to confirm about the funding, if we can just say it's being funded by the Sustainable Hydrogen CDT.
I think you can just, yeah, and this goes for anybody that's looking to reply back to Ulster. If you let them know that your studentship is being funded through the Sustainable Hydrogen CDT.
Thank you.
If there aren't any other questions at the moment, then Cheryl, Jacob, and Srinivas, do you want to share? Sorry, not share. Do you want to switch your cameras on? And Sean, can you switch the recording off now?
Yeah,